do you think that doing the 1-8 playoff system would change any of this? Like, because you're alluding to the fact that Carolina's path seemed easier. I don't know if it is. Does a 1-8 system change any of that?
I don't know. Like, if they play Toronto, do I know who wins? No. Like, Toronto gave Florida more problems, but in a way, Carolina's games were closer. I don't know. I really don't know.
It's something
I like that we have rivalries and teams that hate each other playing each other more in the playoffs, and that's why this is built. And it gives you compelling series that you care about
early. But I feel like we're seeing a lot of round threes that.
Right, but
it might just be attrition,
and it might be the same two teams meeting anyway.
It might be.
It might be the Final Four still the Final Four.
I'd be interested to do the exercise, but you'd have to go and.
Well, we need the alternate universe. Like, we don't know who wins in a series between Carolina and Toronto. Like, let's say they played round one. I don't know. Like, what if Tampa plays?
Yeah, but that's
Carolina. Maybe they're a Final Four.
I don't know if I agree with you on the rivalries, because I think rivalries, like we've saw Edmonton and LA. Is that do you feel like that is?
It is now. You talk to Oilers fans, that's their most hated team.
Is it?
Well, one of them, yeah, for sure. Like, more than Calgary. They don't care about Calgary.
You can't just say one of them. I've never heard an Oiler fan.
Well, I think, like, we had an Instagram post the other day where you had said, hey, like, do Oilers fans hate Flames fans? Like,
I thought a year ago it was Vancouver.
It would have been, but now they're irrelevant. Like, it was 1 year. It was a one-off.
That's not a rivalry.
Probably.
A rivalry is something built over time where you're saying that we're getting better rivalries, and I don't.
I don't feel that the LA Oiler thing is a rival.
I'm reiterating what I've heard from Oilers fans. And that's not maybe the best example of it, but I think Florida Tampa would be the best example. Because those are teams.
Okay, so that's one good one. But
like Toronto, Boston, they played a bunch in the playoffs. That's one that I think has.
But if Toronto, if they just, I'm arguing just to argue, we're not really arguing anything because it's all hypotheticals. But if you had a 1-8, are you saying that those rivalries wouldn't be there?
You just wouldn't play each other as much. That's all it is. Like,
you'd have different rivalries.
Yeah, and it just wouldn't be like I would if there's a model. And again, like, I don't think it's a massively different bracket if you go 1 versus 8. I think you'd still see a lot of like the same teams where they are. There's no alternate universe where we can see who'd win a 1-8. We don't know. But generally speaking, less travel for teams, more regional rivalries. Those are the better ones. Like, if you get more Toronto, Ottawa, more Toronto, Montreal, more Toronto, Boston, just to stay in that division, like, that's better than a Toronto, Washington series. Yeah, they could be a great rivalry if Toronto and Washington play each other all the time.
I don't see
But it's even better when the fans can travel. To get Calgary, Edmonton more often is a good thing.
I think, but you can't guarantee that plays out that way based on the system that you're doing anyway.
No, but you can definitely know that when you're playing
only 2 series
in the Final Four, you're more likely to run into your regional rivals. That's all.
Yeah, but I just don't know that playing a team that's in your division means they're a rival.
No,
it does mean travel, but
yeah, like, and again, it's not always like every team in your division that lives close you hate, but it won't be crazy in 20 years if we're like, man, Seattle and Vancouver hate each other. Like, fans travel, it's 3 hours away. There's pockets of people that live in your neighborhood.
That's not created because the system is set up that way. Like, do you know what I mean? That's a
the NHL's leaning into rivalries, and the easiest rivals to create.
I think you're barking up the wrong.
So why do you think they switched to this format then?
For travel.
I'll put it back on you. Why did they switch?
It doesn't matter. Okay, well, why did they put a fucking tracer on the puck in the 90s when it didn't, like, just because they do something doesn't mean they think it's better. It's easier travel. It's probably cheaper for the teams.
Yep.
I would think that it's money more than rivalries. I don't think it has anything to do with rivalries.
And so here's the perfect example. If you have Calgary against Utah in round 1, what does that do for your tickets, your merch?
You're acting like you get to handpick a team that you're going to create a rivalry with. There's no saying that if the Flames and Utah end up in the playoffs in the same year, they're not playing each other. You don't get to control it.
I'm just providing an example to illustrate why they went to this format.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about.
It is.
Let me finish
the point. Let me finish the point, and I promise it'll tie in. Monetary is the reason why the league does everything. Like, money, right? This is a $5 billion business. They want to grow into a $10 billion business a year. It's way better for business if you have fan bases that are close to each other and don't like each other playing each other. Think about the average resale price of Flames Oilers round 2 versus Flames anyone in the Central Division. That's good for the business of the NHL. That's why they did this, and fans can sink their teeth into that series more than others. It's not always going to be that where it's perfect regional rivals, but I understand why they moved to this alignment. And you still have to beat the best teams to win the cup. We're not providing hoax winners to this trophy.
We weren't.
I like it.
We weren't debating that. We were asking if we thought a 1-8 would create any difference. And then you said, no, it's way better rivalries now. And I don't see where these which rivalries? What is a genuine out in the league right now? Yeah. Tampa, Florida, I think is a rivalry, but I think that's dying because the Panthers have cleaned them up lately. LA and Edmonton have played 4 years in a row. I don't see that as a must. If I'm sitting in St. Louis, a rivalry to me is where they hate each other. I have to watch this game. I'm a hockey fan, and this is a rivalry of teams. LA and Edmonton isn't and maybe I've not heard any Edmonton fans say LA's or they kicked the shit out of them 4 years in a row. So I don't think it's more. You're saying there's more rivalries created by it. I just don't see it.
It's not crazy. It just leans into the more likely natural rivals, right? And then again, it's not perfect, but like I think of Colorado, Dallas now every year. It's like you're in the same division. You got Ranton in there. Like that. I like that those teams have to see each other more likely than they would in a 1 versus.
But you wouldn't like it in the semis. Like you dislike
that
matchup.
That's all.
I don't know. I don't see that the way they've set it up has created more rivalries.
I'm not saying created more. I'm just saying the NHL's leaning into these.
And those like that rivalry is not because of it's because they traded Ranton and then Ranton now plays for Dallas.
And they played last year, and you get the more common opponents year over year.
We'll spin forever here. So I mean, whatever.
Yeah, and
the thing about right now is, so if Edmonton wins, it feels like it's another disappointing kind of round 3, which is not the way you would want it, I would guess. But I don't know that we can look at it and say these teams don't deserve to be here.
Yeah, and also if it's 1-8, it doesn't mean round 3 is better all of a sudden. I think teams are just fatigued. You're playing through injuries, and everyone's played every other night for a month here, right?
Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.